everyone, thought I'd make a quick video here on how to Dharoks PK. I was kind of trying to find something that I could do that would make me some good money as well as have a chance at a pet. So I thought Giant Mole would be the perfect thing to try out, especially after they made some new changes to the Giant Mole. So just some stats on it. Combat level is 230 and the hit points is 200. For notable drops, there's the Mole Claw and the Mole Skin. You can get 1 to 3 mole skins at a time, and if you have the failed or hard diaries done, which I definitely recommend 100%, if you want to actually do this, you will get both the Mole Claw and the Mole Skin in noted form. For the other drops, we have Blood Runes, Death Runes, Law Runes. You definitely want to pick those up. They definitely add up to a good amount of change. And then the Iron Arrow. You get 690 at a time, so definitely pick them up. It might not seem like you want to pick up iron arrows, but they definitely add up to a lot of money. I've done 400 something kills and I already have, I think, over 100k worth of them. Then there's the iron ore and the U-logs. You definitely want to pick those up as well because those are pretty expensive, especially the U-logs, and they definitely add up to a lot of money. All right, now for the stats. So I've put up on the screen minimum stats and recommended stats. You definitely need for minimum stats the 70 attack, 70 strength, and 70 defense for Dharoks, as well as a 43 prayer for the melee protection prayer, and then the Falador hard diary so that you get the shield that has a mole locator. I definitely would say that's a minimum requirement, just because it's really hard to do without the mole locator. For recommended stats though, I would say 90 plus attack and strength. Defense 70 only because you're using prayer anyway, so that doesn't really matter. And then for prayer, I would recommend 70 plus just because you can get higher trips then, and you can use Piety. And then I would also recommend 60 plus agility because you will be doing a fair amount of agility, but you will be using stamina pots, but it's definitely better to have higher agility for that. All right. So for the gear setup, we have the helmet as the Dharok helm, of course. For amulet, we have Torture first because that's, of course, has the most offensive bonuses. If you can't afford that, Fury. And if you can't afford that, Glory. For the chest, of course, again, Dharok's chest. And for legs, Dharok legs. For boots, Primordials are best because they have the best offensive, of course. If you can't afford those, Dragon. And if you can't afford those, the climbing boots. For gloves, you're going to want Barrow's gloves or any other recipe for disaster gloves that you have, the highest ones, of course. For ring, you want Berserker, preferably imbued, and if you can't get Berserker, Warrior, and preferably imbued as well. For the cape, you want the RD4 cloak, so it would be elite, just because it gives you really good offensive and prayer bonuses. If you can't get that, fire cape, of course, the usual. And if you can't get that, any 99 cape would be fine. And then even if you don't have those, you could really use, I guess, like a Spotter cape or a Graceful just for weight reduction. For the weapon, of course, the Dharok axe. And for the ammo slot, you want a Blessing if possible. They're really cheap. I would recommend getting one just to help with prayer a little bit. All right. Lastly, we have the inventory setup. It is going to be a tad bit different for some people. You kind of have to experiment with how many prayer potions you should bring, how many staminas, and how many super combats. But I would recommend, if you're higher stats, probably above 85 prayer potions, you should bring 10 to 12, super combats 2 to 3, and stamina potions 6 to 8. Then, of course, everyone needs to bring a spade, a bullseye lantern. You can bring other things, but they will burn out. So definitely bring a bullseye lantern. I think you can use is it the sapphire lantern or emerald lantern from one of the quests? You can bring that as well. And then, of course, you need the Falador shield 3 or 4. And then you also need the rock cake from Recipe for Disaster to bring down your HP to 1. All right, so let's get into how to exactly do it. First, I'm going to just pot up with a super combat from the bank, just so it saves kind of 1. And you basically just have to go up here to the Falador Park, and we'll have to dig. I'm going to make sure to guzzle that to get my HP down to 1, and we'll just dig down. And to start off, we have to actually find the mole, so you can see the arrow there pointing to where it is. That's with the mole locator, and he's right here. So we're just gonna put our prayer on with melee, protect, and piety, and we're gonna start hitting them. Sometimes you will get lucky. Well, not lucky, I guess, but it really depends on the RNG on how fast you kill them. Sometimes you kill them really fast, or sometimes you hit a whole bunch of zeros like I'm hitting right now. If you have high enough stats, you can actually 3-hit it. Sometimes that happens to me, and it's just like so nice just because it's so quick. I always make sure to flick piety. I would recommend highly doing that. It saves a whole bunch of money. And so as you can see there, he will dig. And of course, I forgot to keep my health down. You can keep your health down to 1 by flicking rapid heal or rapid regen, whatever it is, every once in a while. But basically, you just find him again, and you keep going. And if your prayer or your health does run below 0 or 1 or 2, I'm sorry, then just guzzle on the rock kick again. So there's the first kill. I got 3 skins and 1 claw. I'll just drop the spade. Just save an inventory spot. Otherwise, he spawns right here every time, and you pretty much just do the same thing over and over and over. Usually, on average, I get about 40 to 50 kills on a trip, and usually I can do that in an hour. Sometimes I'll get less, a lot less, like in 30s, just if I'm really unlucky or I forget to super combat for some reason during the trip, and I was like at really low stats. And of course I forgot to guzzle again, or to keep my HP down again, but he will travel again, and you go find him. Sometimes you get lucky and he won't even travel for a whole kill at all. Actually, that happens a decent amount of time. He'll travel, the chance is that he'll travel 25% of the time when you hit him, or her, or whatever it is, it will travel. But that's why I use the Dharoks, because you hit less and you hit higher. So that's why you do that. But basically, this is it. And there's one more kill. That time I got Mithril Axe, which kind of sucks. But the U-logs and the iron ore are kind of what you're looking for. Really, there's no big drops at all, but rather than the pet. But it is pretty good money making. I'll show you after I've done a whole trip to show you exactly what I get. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will show you what I get after I'm done with this trip. Alright everyone, we are done with that trip. We are just going to price check this quick. Without the potions, of course. And yep, 1.3 mil, that's about average, I would say. I have gotten trips as high as 1.7 mil, and that is from 1 hour. So definitely doable in 1 hour, and you could even get higher. If you're wondering why the mole claws and skins are so expensive, it's because you can trade them into this farmer over here and get nests, bird nests, which have a lot of seeds. I'm not going to do it, but this is how you do it. Because I am going to be coming out with a 1000 mole kill video loot. So about 1.3 mil you can possibly make, minus the potions. That's about 1 mil an hour. So it's pretty good money making method. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Make sure to subscribe, and I will be coming out with more videos soon.